Pashmina. So if you're not aware, my name is Pashmina, and I'm right now working as academic coordinator with one of our reputed school in Udaipur, Rajasthan. I have experience of around 11 to 12 years in primary and pre-primary section, planning, curriculum designing, development, teachers training, and lesson planning especially. So I hope this will be a great experience for you all, and I can be a great mentor to you all. Shweta ma'am, are you there? Okay. Yeah, so are we ready to start the just a moment. All right, no worries. So ma'am is also here, and let us have.
Hi, Ms. Jan. I just want to ask you, is there any link between
Yes, I am not able to hear you properly. Can you please speak again?
Is there any link between
Link between?
Module 1?
Module 1 and Module 2.
Okay. Yes, there is not a link, but the first module was all about how to do lesson planning for effective learning in the classroom. And this one is that how to incorporate multiple intelligence theory in lesson planning. So if you anyways know a little bit about lesson planning, this will be a useful link to you all. I again want to confirm whether I'm audible or not.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Fine. Thank you so much. Okay. So to begin with, I just want to know how many of you are aware of lesson planning and multiple intelligence theory. Anybody is aware of that already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
lovely. Yes, Vijayalakshmi ma'am says yes, and Sonali ma'am also. Okay, that's good. So Vijayalakshmi ma'am, just give a little brief about what do you know about it.
Yeah, basically when we talk about the preschooling, it starts from 18 and a half, this 18 months to 6 years. And we do cater to all their areas of development, and basically this multi-intelligence is catering to the creative, the physical, to do with the mathematical development, the language when it comes to listening, reading, speaking, and writing skills. So like this, all the 7 areas is what that we work on. So when we make our lesson plans, basically we see to it that we take one particular subject, but we cater to all the areas that we need to work on.
Okay. That's a really brief idea about multiple intelligence theory. But what I understand from you is that you apply for the development of that particular intelligence in a child, right?
Yeah.
But the concept is altogether different. And this is what we are going to explore today. Okay.
That's right.
Yes, we actually think that multiple intelligence theory deals with developing some kind of intelligence in the students whom we are taking care of. But actually, it is way before that. Okay, so let me share my screen first with you. So now everyone is able to see the screen. I'm sharing a PPT here. Yeah. Okay. I would prefer everyone to please switch on the videos. You understand this thing that when I don't see my students or we don't see our student, we do not connect. And it is something where I'm giving just a lecture. So just
I'm traveling, ma'am. So I'm traveling. Is it okay?
That's okay. That's fine, ma'am. It is very convenient for us to interact with each other otherwise. All right.
Ma'am, I will also start after 5 minutes.
No worries.
I'm also.
I'll start after some time. I'm having my lunch.
Lovely. No worries. Okay. So before we begin with this workshop, let us know a little bit about who was the person behind multiple intelligence theory. Okay, so we are aware that there are multiple intelligences in each and every human being. I'll not talk about right now only the students whom we are teaching. It's that we all have intelligence in us and we work differently. That's why each human being is different. So before, when we started with education, the system, and we started planning things for schools and all, there were few intelligence which were like people were aware of, like visual learners, auditory learners, and kinesthetic learners. These are some few intelligence which everybody is aware of. But there was a professor, Howard Gardner, who has given this intelligence theory, saying that there is not 1, 2, or 3 intelligences a person has or the person use to learn new thing. There are around, in the beginning, he gave 7 intelligences, then 8, and now we count those as 9 different intelligences all together. We call them competency actually, which relates to a person's aptitude and capabilities. We see that when we are teaching, few kids are learning, few are not learning, and is a lot going on between. But we do not try to find out why it is happening. We sometimes question ourselves that, am I not teaching properly? Or ye to bacha hi aisa hai. That is the second dialogue which comes. So it's not anybody's problem. It is that we have to identify the capabilities of each and every individual whom we are catering to. And then we have to demonstrate and teach them or train them according to that as well. So we have to cater to everybody's capabilities, competencies, and intelligences. So Professor Howard Gardner was the one person who actually introduced this theory of multiple intelligence. Yeah, and this multiple intelligences, which I will mention here, are 9, which he identified. You can see on the screen that the first one is visual, which we all are aware of very well. Visual, that means if somebody sees something, they learn better. The linguistic ones are the ones who can read language. Through language, they learn more. Logical, people who think very differently and then they have reasoning, very good reasoning aptitude in them. Kinesthetic ones, the ones who do and learn. Until unless they do something, they do not learn. Let's say just one example. I learn recipes or I learn cooking by not reading the recipes, or somebody is telling me that aise banaya tha, waise banaya tha. Usually we do that, we ladies do, right? Oh, ye to bahut tasty banaya, how did you prepare it? And one will grab it like this and the other one will be just blank. And I'm the person who is who can be the blank person in front of others who is sharing the recipe, because I'll have no idea. So that means I must do it or see it, how it has been prepared, and then I can make that dish. Okay, so there are people who do, until unless they do or perform, they do not learn better. Everybody can learn with everything, but it is about the quantity and it is about the quality of that particular subject or topic that we are learning. Naturalists, these are nature smart people, like who learn with the nature more. When they are outdoors, they learn more. They explore, they learn more. Then there are musical sound smart people, or this intelligence, where if anything has the rhythm, they learn. The best example, tables. We all have learned the times table with a rhythm. 2 ones are 2. This was taught to us. And that was easy for many of us to, still recalling and doing the calculation. Existential. This is the new one, actually. I'll talk about it later. And the 2 different ones are intrapersonal and interpersonal. With the name already, it is very clear that people who are who likes to work in a team, who always like to be surrounded with people, they learn differently, and they are interpersonal people. And the intrapersonals are always into themselves, introverts one. But it doesn't mean that they are not smart enough, but they can learn with themselves also. They will be with themselves only most of the time. Okay, so this is just a little glimpse about it. We are going to learn about each and every intelligence very in depth. Also, we'll learn how we can execute and involve and inculcate these intelligences in planning our lesson plans. Everyone knows that lesson planning is important, right? So before we begin, I would just I want you all to participate in one activity. Okay, I want you all to have a paper and pen ready, and you have to read the questions, and then you have to just write the number. What do you like to do? Here, the screen which I'm going to share will have yes or no, but you can just write the numbers. Okay. Like I'll give you an example. Is the sheet very clear with you all? Can you all see it? Yes? All right. So this sheet says, I like to write my own stories. This might be for the kids also, but just bring out your kid, bring out the child in you right now, and just think, what do you like and what you do not like? You have to only write the number on a piece of paper, which you like to do. Okay, let's say if I like to take pictures, so I'll write number 2 like this. And then you can write as many as possible. And if you write everything like 1 to 24, that's also fine. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to just quickly write down everything on the paper. Once you're done, show me a thumbs up or just raise your hand virtually so that I know that we are done with it.
For every question, we need to answer, is it?
Yes. So you don't have to answer yes or no. You have to just write the numbers of the statements, the serial number of the statements which you like.
Okay, okay.
Okay, the positive ones. So your answer may be 1, 5, 11, 18, 21, and 23. These can be the answers. You all must be thinking that, oh, I like this also, I like that also. How many numbers I should write, right?
So, like in the chart, we have to write all the yes ones.
Just randomly, just on a piece of paper, so that you know that, okay, I like these many things. It is just like writing a gratitude diary or journal in the end of the day that आज मैंने ये चीजें करी और मुझे इनको करके बहुत मजा आया. Okay, so I'm getting few thumbs up here. Shall we move on to the next slide where we have the result, or we find out why we were doing this activity? Shall we move on? Okay, so here we go. This is the next slide. Now just see and find out yourselves that whether you are bodily a kinesthetic learner, or you are a musical learner, you are a naturalistic one, you are towards the words and linguistic one, do you have mathematical and reasoning skills, and which one is the dominating skill in each one? If I'm going to ask you that, what do you think with this chart, that you are which kind of learner? Okay, so I've got answers like 7, 9, 17 from Sudipta ma'am. So, oh my goodness, Mohini ma'am is also having multiple intelligences. And Snehal ma'am also is saying 2, 6, 7, 12, 13, 21. So do you fall in one particular or two particular intelligences? Can you just make it out from yourself? Okay, Saida is saying she is actually a musical learner. Lovely. Okay. So I am going to quickly ask you all, what did you find out with this? So with whom shall I start with? I'm not getting your names here. So can you one by one just tell me? Anjana ma'am, can we start with you?
Ma'am, how did we evaluate? I did not, I missed that.
Okay, just a moment. If, let's say, if it is musical, there are 3 different numbers or statements which you liked. So if those are dominating more, you will find out whether that you are a musically intelligent person.
Okay.
Okay. So let me ask you one by one. Okay, there I'm already, yes, you're getting many answers here. And Miss Seema Bindu is saying that she has multiple intelligences and learner. Okay, so you all have your results with you. Are you happy with that? Or do you relate with it? Right?
Happy.
Okay, can you share? Anybody would like to just say? So Bindu ma'am is mathematical, bodily, and self.
Ma'am,
And
please
people
share
also.
slide.
Yeah.
Please share the previous slide.
Okay. Sorry, it is going again and again back. You don't have to evaluate you much. Okay, so I'll just take few examples from the chat which I have received here. Snehal is 2, 6, 7, 12, 13, and 21. Okay, so yeah, everybody is saying they are having multiple intelligences and they learn through various variety. Okay, there are many, but Saida could find out that she is musically intelligent. 12 and 13 and all are basically mathematical also. Yes. Okay, so I'm moving forward and I would like to interact with you all over here. What did we find out with this? That you have multiple intelligences, right? Yes, exactly. Bindu ma'am is saying right. One is always a dominant one. So Bindu ma'am, I know that the dominant one in you is you are a people's, or I may say, interpersonal skills are quite high in you. Very high in you. One will be dominating, but when we are kids, when we are at the age of 4 to 8 years, our intelligences, all the intelligences are not developed. This is the fact. Why you are falling into many categories? Because by the time you have developed those, Maybe because of your school, maybe because of your family, maybe because of the surroundings which you are in. Maybe you went to a boarding school, maybe your teachers trained you differently. That is the reason at the age of 30, 35, 40, you will say that I have multiple intelligences. But when you are a kid, or when we are facing our kids, we have to identify that which one is the dominating one in each one. There is always a dominating one. Believe me, I am a kinesthetic learner. But definitely, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I may say that I'm a people's person. Okay, I have interpersonal skill, but deep inside, if I'm in a group, I want everybody to listen to me. That means I'm not having good interpersonal skills, right? I would like that everybody should listen to me. The final decision should be the one which I am taking because my answer is right. So we think that we have that skill, but usually we do not have. Can anybody help me with this, that I'm not able to remove this chat box from here? What to do? It is actually occupying the whole screen here. So these are this multiple intelligences. Very clearly, it is saying just a moment. Yeah, now it is good. So there are 9 types of intelligences which we actually were learning. The musical one is discerning with the sounds, their pitch, tone, rhythm. Now, when we talk about logical and mathematical, quantifying things, making hypotheses, and proving them. These are big things which the person who is dominating will do better. Tackling the questions of why we live and why we die. This is the new one, and which is the 9th one. The latest one, existential intelligence. Now, when in this world of meditation and yoga and pranayam,
Can you repeat
this-
that, ma'am?
pardon?
Ma'am, please repeat it. Please repeat that.
Yeah, just a moment. Okay. So I'm talking about existential intelligence right now. In this world where yoga, meditation, and the pranayam is dominating, people are talking about depression, people are talking about anxiety, people are talking and taking care of all the psychological things. We usually have started thinking about our existence, why we are in this world. Today is the only day. We should be happy today. You have not seen next day. So such kind of thinking. And at the same time, why we exist, why we live, what is the purpose. I'll just give example of Shweta ma'am here, that along with teachers training, along with a lot many workshops she's doing, but she has one another purpose to serve the society. You might have seen her post recently that she has been going to kids in the Kachi Basti and teaching them, even the ladies, poor ladies, she's collecting stuff and donating that. So, and she donated her hair also for leukemia patients. So now she is into this existential intelligence. She actually is trying to make a difference, and she knows that the purpose of life is different. Once these things start coming up, this intelligence actually dominates what we are learning, or how we execute in our day-to-day life. Interpersonal, as everybody knows, sensing people's feeling and motives and understanding them well, being a very good team worker. Bodily kinesthetic, where our mind and body is working together for a purpose. So once I develop, or anybody develop bodily kinesthetically skills or intelligences, their hand and eye coordination will be the best. In mathematics, we say, do some activities which are hand-eye coordination ones, even in mathematics, because it directly relates with our mind. A person to develop linguistic skill, that if a person has a developed one, the person will be able to find very perfect words. They will be having good vocabulary. They will always not say good, great. We teach our kids in the school that if somebody is asking, how are you, reply differently. Yes, and we try to give them new words, new phrases in the school so that they develop the vocabulary. So if a child is not linguistically good also, we are there to develop that skill in them. Intrapersonal, understanding yourself, what you feel and what you want. Now, in any other school, when we go for admission, or if anybody's coming to your school and they are asking that what is the USP of your school, many of us say that we do opinion-based learning. We focus more on that. What exactly it is? Opinion-based learning. It is actually that where we develop this intrapersonal skill, and believe me, it is important. We cannot say the people who are introvert have intrapersonal skills. It is not perfectly correct. It is where the person knows what they want. Person knows what, the people know what they want. People know that how they feel and how to describe something. For me, this mobile will be can be just a handset or gadget which has been used for calling and texting people and sometimes clicking pictures. So this is what I feel. But maybe for Mohini ma'am or somebody, they'll say, oh, this is altogether a world. It is the life. So this is what is describing ourselves, our feeling. So one gadget, it is same thing. I'm asking a child to write an essay on mobile. Everybody's opinion should be different, and the teacher in her lesson planning should be ready to receive different answer. And but before that, you have to train your kids for that, to develop interpersonal. And it is really, really important one nowadays. Spatial, okay. A person, if I'm asking somebody that how far is your home from mall, one person may say 1 kilometer, one will say, oh, ye itna baju mein hi hai. One will say ki are thoda dur hai yaar. It is when you estimate something and when you're visualizing this whole world in 3D, you are able to give a very close picture about that. Few people are really good. If I ask that, acha, tumhare ghar mein table tha, coffee table, you had a coffee table at your home. What was the size of it? You may remember, you may not, but you may say maybe 2 by 3. Very quickly, because that is very clear in your head that ye size raha hoga. और यहाँ से वहां तक जाने में इतना टाइम लगा था तो इतना किलोमीटर हुआ होगा. Visualizing this whole world, space, you know, the people who have good spatial skill, they turn out to be in which profession? Anybody can answer me?
Interior designing, architect.
Exactly. They are into this field most of the time. They may be architect, they may be interior designer, because they know how to utilize the space well. They can visualize it before, just like before even it executes. They tell you, यहाँ पे इतनी जगह रहेगी, इतना ये रहेगा, यहाँ पे ये look अच्छा आएगा, right? So this skill is again very important. Naturalists are the ones who understand the living things and reading nature. Just by reading the nature, but just by being outdoors, they learn a lot many things. And they can tell us about a lot many things. So we actually worked on the activity where we tried to find out how intelligent we are and do we have multiple intelligences. This is one of the again kind of worksheet which you can share when you are in your school and try to find out from your students which kind of smart they are. Just let's go quickly through it. That self-smart, that means the intrapersonals are, they feel good about themselves, they have hobbies, they know their likes and dislikes. This is what I was talking about. A person who has opinion is self-smart, is having intrapersonal skill. Okay, can anybody say the self-smart people can be in which, can opt for which career? Anybody here?
Can you repeat your
Where it
question?
is required, the opinion is required.
Self-smart
Life coach.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
fashion industry.
Fashion industry. Okay. See, people like this who knows their opinion are the best TV anchors or news reader, or we may say the reporters nowadays. They have their, they know themselves, and then when they are talking and discussing the big issues with the politicians and people around the world, they can actually take out the things from them. And they have their own opinion, that's why they fool them. And they put the words in their mouth to be said. So it is not that the people who are self-smart, they are always not talking much. They have that dominance, but if that is with the linguistically smart, language smart, it is a deadly combination. A lawyer, again, if the language skills are good and they are self-smart, they will be definitely a very good lawyer. Okay, so this sheet I'll share with you, but by the time when you are seeing it, just try to find out more and more about all the intelligences. Okay, so now what are the activities and how to take these multiple intelligence into the class is what we are here for. First, see the picture which is towards your right hand side, me at a glance. Okay, this is actually, before you start planning, you should have this for each and every child in your class or the kids whom you are taking care of. How would you know that? By doing some kind of surveys, which we have seen before, the activity which we did before, or might be asking them, or maybe if the kids are young learners, you can ask their parents also. So have such kind of chart ready. And then you will see the activities over here, free choice. It is a board actually, where we do in our school that the child may choose one of the activity or two of the activities for any given topic. So it is a choice board, but this choice board or the activities can be incorporated in our lesson planning, so that in one lesson, in 45 minutes of the class, we are using multiple we are taking care or catering multiple intelligences. So if I have a lesson plan to be prepared for 140 minutes, I may have timeline creation, and then I may ask them to do some exercises also, but based on that topic also, I may ask them to review or visualize something. I may ask my kids to collect many things and then segregate them according to the given options. So there are multiple activities which comes or falls into each intelligence and which can be used easily. You might be using all these things by seeing this chart. Just a moment. Yeah.
Understand, but how are we going to make this chart like learning style and all that?
See,
How
I'm going to provide you a lot many activity chart. Even this picture also I'll share with you. But when you are making a lesson plan, you have to make sure at least in one day's lesson, you are using 4 intelligence activity in one day's. And believe me, it's not very difficult. When you are planned, you can execute. This is what we are going to learn. So give me one topic and I'll tell you.
Out of 11, we need to choose 4, ma'am.
Yes, at least 4. I'm telling at least 4. Then your intelligence, your lesson plan is going to be the best one. And in the next lesson, let's say shapes. We are teaching shapes in the class. Okay. Of any class, it can be of LKG, it can be of grade 1 and 2, it can be of grade 5 also. Every time we have this chapter in our curriculum, at least till primary. And in a higher grade, it is differently. So we'll not touch that right now. So when you're teaching the shape chapter, how will you cater to all the intelligence? And how will you force or push your students who do not have one type of intelligence, but you want them to develop that intelligence? So what activities I can incorporate in that? For verbal and linguistic ones, what can be done? I can actually ask one person to come in front and just tell about one particular shape. If I know that person is linguistically good, the person can be doing the flipped classroom teaching that time. I hope you all are aware of flipped classroom. It is a flipped classroom is a skill which we
Yes, ma'am.
use in the class where we ask our student to act as teacher and teach a topic. Okay, flipped classroom is the best way of making a child learn something. See, I know multiple intelligence. You all know a little bit about multiple intelligence. And you know about the theory also. But if you will not teach somebody, it will not be there as your mind and soul, and it will not be flowing inside you. जब आप सिखाते हो कोई चीज, when you teach something, it stays with you forever, isn't it? As a teacher, we know that we never forget that thing. So teaching flipped classroom is the best skill. Okay, so I may ask a child of verbal linguistic one to come and describe and teach that thing. In the same class, I may ask them to, create a pattern, definitely very good with the shapes. Then to take care of visual and spatial, I can ask them to make a different figures with the shapes, like जैसे कि बहुत सारे cutouts we give to the student and we ask them create as many as figure from this cutout. We may ask them to create a shape collage also. So visual and spatial ones are learning from that. Bodily and kinesthetically one will do what? They may make a model. Okay, they may create a castle out of it when we are giving them the shapes and the 3D shapes to them, cone and cylinders and cuboid and cubes. We may ask them to create or make a castle. So for every topic, out of these activities, you can take minimum of 4 in each lesson. And each lesson means that one day is 40 or 45 minutes. And it's not difficult. Definitely, you're not going to end the shape topic in one day. So go inside the class and start with a shape rhyme, a poem which is based on shapes. And the child who is musically good will learn it. How much time does it take? 3 to 4 minutes. And the class becomes very vibrant. The students feel very energized, right? So just do a poem or a rhyme and then you're sorted. You have taken care of one intelligence already in 3 minutes. So such way, ask them to go out in the corridor and give a paper and pen and let them notice how many shapes they have seen in the corridor or in the ground or at place somewhere in library. You are taking care of the naturalist's one, right? So here, even in few minutes with having all these intelligence in hand with you or knowing them well, you come up with activities very easily. And it is not one intelligence you are taking care in one class. So please make sure after this workshop, whenever you are planning any lesson plan, you'll include 4 minimum intelligences. And in the next lesson, which is in the continuation, or next period, which is in continuation, the another 4 or 5. Try to cater to as many as possible. Okay, so let us move to the next one. So before making a lesson plan, what you all should think. These are the objectives which you keep in your mind. How can I involve the whole body and use hands-on experiences? How can I engage student in peer sharing? How can I use the spoken or written words? Now, English language, Hindi language teachers will say we do it every day. So do we have to? But your job is to provide them with the new vocabulary, with new good speaking skills, with correct pronunciation. Along with that, have hands-on. Make a sentence. We do jumbled sentence kind of thing in our school, right? Activity. but we give it as a question in the question paper. Why not giving that as just activity, hands-on? Like you make a sentence slip. Okay, I like to go to the school. Very simple sentence. Cut all the words separately, mix them, go and put it on a table, make a sentence. The child will frame or arrange them in correct order. Done. You're very much ready. You are actually developing linguistic one, and you are actually taking care of the bodily kinesthetic one. Here, you actually are incorporating logical and reasoning skills also there. With one activity, you can cater to multiple also. So, but you should be very clear when I am going into the classroom with this activity, how many intelligences I'm taking care of and how many intelligence I am trying to develop in my student. I'm going to help them develop these skills. Two things. So in the beginning, when I asked that multiple intelligence, what do you understand? And when ma'am told me that we try to develop that, it's not only the development of that particular skill, it is knowing that who is intelligently how, catering to his or her needs so that that particular person can learn better, and the others who do not have that skill can develop that. This is the essence of multiple intelligence theory. Go with two objectives in mind. Now, do I need to read all these? Okay, let me read musical ones. How can I bring the music or environment where the sound or the rhythm is involved? So just for skip counting, I'm using mathematical concepts more here to give examples, but don't mind. So mathematical one, you are using skip counting kind of thing. Skip counting we teach in the classroom. Again, very easy. Skip counting of 3. So you have to tap 2 times and the third time this. And you are involving the body. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and keep doing it. You are teaching skip count by 3 using musical intelligence, using kinesthetic ones. And the kids who are good at that, ask them to good at linguistic skills, ask them to come at the board, write it down which number comes when the hand is flipped like that. Easy. At one time, 3 intelligences. Intrapersonal, how can I evoke personal feeling or memories or give students choices? There is a particular time in the class which everyone uses. I hope you all are using. We call it circle time. Everyone is doing that in this class? Yeah, everyone. What is the purpose of that? Actually, during that time, the questions being asked or the things which are shared should be intrapersonal ones. That if your circle time is before the class or before the school starts, it should have the questions related to what has happened yesterday, or their opinion about the season, their opinion about Corona, their opinion about offline, online classes. It depends what is the current situation and which age group you are taking care of. Okay, and then each child will come up with their own thinking, own feeling, own words, own liking and disliking. If the circle time is at the end of the session, you may ask them all about today's learning. It should not be revision kind of, what did we learn today? Usually teacher says that at the end of the lesson, when we say, come on, summarize. So the first question which teachers ask is, what did we learn today, children? They will say, ma'am, we learned so. So it is just recalling something. But are we asking them any why question? In the circle time, are we asking, did they like it? How are they going to use this learning today or learning in their day-to-day life? Such kind of questions to be asked post lesson during the circle time to develop intrapersonal skills. So it is anyways a part of your curriculum, of your day-to-day classroom execution. Naturalists ones are the one during that time you have to think, but how can I incorporate living things, natural phenomena, or the ecological awareness? We do conduct many of the drives nowadays. Yeah, recently we had pollution control day. So the young ones were talking about how they can help in controlling the pollution and make others aware about it. This is naturalists ones. Or you are developing that intelligence using such kind of activities. Logical and mathematical, how can I bring in numbers, calculation, logic, classification, or critical thinking? So now in science and mathematics, it is easy to bring this kind of intelligence as activity. But how are we going to do that for the other subjects like Hindi and English and the other language and maybe social science? Very simple thing. Categorize the thing. Even timeline, making the timeline. In history, when you are teaching, किसी भी एक person एक city का timeline बनाने को बोल दो बच्चों को. That is mathematical skill which you are developing in them. You tell them about writing their own timeline. Yeah, in your language classes like English or Hindi. And then first they will draw a timeline with the years in that. They will write the major points in the timeline. And then later they will make or write a paragraph based on that timeline. Easy. So you have actually incorporated this intelligence, logical and mathematical, in your language classes also. Mind maps. We are doing mind maps in the class for English and Hindi and in any other language if you're teaching. So mind maps are again one example of logical and mathematical skill development. Let us move on to the next lessons, actually, lesson planning format. This is one lesson plan format, very easy one, which I have taken a general one, which you might be using in your classes. Okay, before we start with the lesson planning pamphlets and all, I would just like to ask you if anybody has any question. Is there any question which you have right now? You can ask about the intelligence and the activities and all. No,
Ma'am,
shall I-
these plans are basically based for pre-primary students.
No, you can incorporate in any of the classes.
So
Any of the
if I want to plan a lesson for 8th class computers class, so how can it will be beneficial for them? For example, if I want to introduce input devices.
Okay.
So
See, now intelligence is, you may ask them to create something from scratch, model banana, to apne hands on de diya unhe. Kinesthetically, you are getting them developed. Okay. How you can ask them to write about the algorithm or the physics into that how this can be hardware jahan pe aap sikha rahe. So you can use that thing into that. If you are teaching, you can use the flow charts. You can use the diagrams. You can ask them to, talk about it. You can ask them to debate about something, whether the size of this gadget or this input device is feasible or not, right? What is your opinion about it? Is it easy to handle? Is it convenient to, carry along? Any kind of thing. So language has to be developed and you have to give them the vocabulary. You take them to the nature and say that if यहाँ पे आपको कुछ चीज create करना है, let's say there is a computer को use करके आप किसी चीज को कैसे easy बना सकते हैं. So you show them a natural phenomena and then you can ask them that how you will present it in this manner, right? So use at least not 4, but minimum of 2 in such grades. Computer is a different subject where they have to technically sit and learn about various different boring things. Sorry to say that I'm saying boring things, but yeah, it becomes monotonous when they are sitting in the computer lab and learning and reading the books and doing something. You're talking about input devices. But when it comes to computers, there are a lot many things which relates to the designing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, even you can ask them to, you can give them a space. Yes, Seema ma'am, I'll come to you. Even you can ask them to, you can give a signed place that is class में इतना 2x2 का area in 4 बच्चों का है. And then you can ask them to make a station, working station, which utilize minimum products and which can, be more efficient, whatever your topic is. So such kind of activities can be also done. Yes, Seema ma'am.
Ma'am, how can we use these things in our pre-primary school?
Oh, pre-primary, you can use 8 intelligences in one lesson. Very
Okay.
easy to use. Very, very
And-
easy. Let's say,
and-
as I told you, as you enter the class, you are using you are doing the circle time. Circle time is intrapersonal. Then you sing a rhyme. It is musical. So you are anyways doing it. But we really do not know that how to utilize that activity to achieve the objective which we have set. Your objective should be that clear before entering to the class, that I'm going to take care of these intelligences in the class today, and the kids who are that intelligent. So before that, you have to have a survey with you for your class. Second, you should have to have a very good, I may say a chart or something which I'll tell you in the last slide of our session, that you have to have a record. If your class is more of a kinesthetic one, then your class or your lesson should have more of kinesthetic activities also, so that they can learn better. Once they have learned the topic, then go for the development of other skills, other intelligences. तो ऐसा नहीं कि कोई क्लास में सारे hyperactive बच्चे हैं. In our term, there is no hyperactive child. But if the teacher says there are more hyperactive kids in so and so section, that you have to use many of the activities in that class, but you have to mellow down their energy also, and then engage that energy into different style. Okay. Anybody
Okay.
else?
Yeah, ma'am. I
Yes.
want to know nowadays, especially in pre-primary classes, there are 3 to 5 students who have reading difficulty. So how you plan for them? How
Are you using sight words reading in your school or classes?
Yes.
Okay. At what level you are putting the sight words in the classroom? Eyesight level I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, the sight words are the words which should be seen and learned. If you
Yes.
are thinking that unko uski spelling aani chahiye, no. So sight words are the words. If little is written somewhere, the child should know how to read little without even knowing the spelling of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the difficulty. They know how to, some of them know how to read it, but dictation wise, they don't know how to write it.
Sight words should not be dictated.
Okay.
Yeah. See, the sight words are for reading purpose only. So whenever the words are written somewhere, they should be able to read it at the age of 6, by the age of 6. Or by the age of 6, if a child is reading little word, I'm just taking this only one example here right now. So little is a sight word which we teach in pre-primary, right? So if that is written somewhere and the child is reading it at least 30 days, in 30 days, automatically the spelling will be learned. And when the child will go in grade 1, he will be able to write that also.
No, I'm talking about grade 3 and 4. If they have reading difficulty, then how the lesson plans are to be made?
Again, first try to resolve this activity, this difficulty by teaching them the sight words, having the word wall in the classroom, and then involve many of the card game in your classes. Card game, again, same thing. Give them like, ask them to sit in group of 4 or group of 5 according to your class strength. Give them few words. कार्ड में बना के उस पे बहुत सारे अलग अलग single words ले लिए. Try to use the first sight words, Dolch sight words, which you have heard about. Have you heard about that? DOLCH, Dolch sight words. So there are 220 Dolch sight words which a child should know by the age or by the class grade 2. So have a list of those ready.
Fry words also.
Yes, and have a list ready. Every day 30 words. Every day 30 words. Once the kids are familiar with all those 30 words by doing many activities, as I told you, make a sentence, use a paper strip, write a letter, or describe somebody, two words, speaking 2 words, anything. Even you can play Simon Says also. So if there are 6 difficult words are there, if I say little, you all have to become little. If I say away, just go away. Let them do some action. And during that time, you are not actually saying away. You are showing the card away. Dumb charades, play dumb charades by just showing the placards. So many things can be done. Yeah, anybody else? Shall we move on further? All right. So let's go to the lesson planning thing now, which is the actual thing we want to do right now. So this is one very simple lesson planning format. I have shared few lesson plans before in my first workshop also. This is again a very simple one. This is how we plan our one class. Okay. So the first 5 things, I may say: lesson title, date, duration, subject, and material required. We all always do that. Vocabulary. This is something which is highlighted here. So in today's class, which kind of vocabulary I'm going to use? My vocabulary will be mathematical based. While teaching mathematics, we use different vocabulary. If you are not aware, search for mathematical vocabulary and add that in your day-to-day execution. Fewer. Are we using this word fewer? Only when they are solving the story problems. Otherwise not. But today I'm going to highlight this word. So my new words, my new vocabulary, which I'm trying to introduce in any of the chapter or any of the subject, will be highlighted here. And this is how you are developing first intelligence, linguistic. Okay, aapka problem solve. Next, students will know, student will be able to, and students will understand. You may say that ye तीनों चीजें तो same hai. Why we have to write it differently? Knowing means getting aware of something. So today's objective is that my child will learn about the reproduction system. So they will be able to know something, maybe the importance, maybe reproduction in plants, something like that. And the student will be able to. Now, able to is the skill which you are developing. Here comes your multiple intelligence. That they will be able to sort, they will be able to teach, they will be able to make a graph, they will be able to design, they will be. So now the skill words, the multiple intelligence activity skill words will fall into this. Students will be able to. Students will understand. Again, it is a mix of both know and able to. They'll be able to understand that you may have, I always told that value aana chahiye, so you can have your value also here. And you can write down about the mix of both know and able to, uska end result kya hoga. So a student will understand that for reproduction in plants, flowers and insects, both are compulsory or both are necessary. Very simple. So this is the objective with which you are getting inside the classroom. Now, introduction, the hook. It is always important to have a 2 or 3 minutes introduction in the class. It has to be, should be always indirect. I always prefer it should be indirect to develop the logical and reasoning intelligence. Once a teacher goes inside the classroom with a spark in the eyes and just say, so children, when I was coming to the school today, I saw one of the vehicle was like emitting lots and lots of polluted air. What could be the reason? I don't understand. Just one question from your side and the kids will come with the answer. and you may launch your topic. Maybe the topic is only pollution, but at least you have instigated some kind of thinking into them. Intrapersonal. They'll talk about the likes, dislikes immediately, and then reach with the reasoning, reach to the topic of the day. And that is the reason the introduction in lesson planning should be indirect. Never go to the class and directly say that, okay, today we are going to learn about adjectives, if you are English teacher. Please do not say that. Okay. How many intelligences we have already taken care of right now? While writing the vocabulary of the day, taken care linguistic one, whether it is any kind of subject. Now student will know, but student will be able to, when we are writing something here, 2 or 3 intelligence we have taken care here. Introduction, definitely intrapersonal and mathematical logical reasoning. 4 intelligences are already done, ma'am. Now it is instruction. I do. That means teachers, what teachers are telling it to students. Demonstration, which is we call. So this can be your main time of 10 minutes where you want to launch your topic. You want to make them understand. You can read the book during that time. You can explain using the diagram. Here also, it's not that every time the students are doing some activity which you are planning. You can do the activity. So the flow charts, the diagrams, the props, the resources which you are making, the style of teaching something where you are using hand gestures, all these things actually somehow cater to, again, 1 or 2 intelligences. If you're singing something in the class during the instruction, you're taking care of musical one, right? You may ask that how many tube lights are there in the class. You are asking them how many more can be fit into that spatial skill you are taking care of. What if I want to make you sit in a group of 4? What do you think? How much space would we need? How many tables would we need? Spatial skill. Very simple. So even before starting with the students activity, let's say today you have planned a group activity. आप अपने instructions में बोल रहे हैं that आज हम group activity करने जा रहे हैं. So before that, ask few questions, and you are done with your spatial intelligence. Guided practice. This is the best part. If they are not writing the answers, or if you are not giving them any sums to solve, or if you are not asking them to write down few words in their book, that is usually guided practice means classwork, CW. In my last lesson planning workshop also, I told everybody, use the new words guided practice for CW and independent practice for classroom assignments, reviews, and for homework. Guided practice means where the teacher is there to help them. Independent practice means where you are not there, they are doing it on their own. When they're doing it on their own, the section will be, the activities can be different. And how those can be different, you can see small group instructions in this lesson plan. This is something new, you might be seeing that. Here are the names of the students along with what you are going to do with them during their independent practice time. Like in the beginning of the month, you have done a survey with your student, or you have done a research to find out how many kids are musically one, how many are kinesthetic, and then you make them into group. And in today's this lesson plan, you want all the 4 groups or 5 groups which you have in class to do different activity, but for the same topic, because you want them to learn better. अगर आपने lecture method दिया है class में आज, then you have taken care of only 1 intelligence. Only the kids who are linguistically good or smart, they will understand better. What about the others sitting in the classroom? What about people like me? I will fall asleep if somebody is giving lecture. Even right now, I don't know how many of you are sleeping because I cannot see them, I cannot hear them, I'm just talking, there is nothing to do much, right? So we may fall asleep. So the small group instructions should be multiple intelligence based by knowing already who are intelligent in which and who falls in which category. And the last one is closing and assessment, which we always do. Closing is always giving a glimpse of or summary of what we have learned today. What is the use of it? Which value did we learn from today's class? And also about what we are going to learn next. That's very, very important to include in your day-to-day lesson. Leave your kids inquisitive about, oh, when teacher will come to the next class, she is going to teach or do something very interesting. They look forward to your class. So this closing has to have this little inquisitiveness in that. Assessment is can be verbal, just 2 questions at the end of the day, maybe opinion-based learning over here as well. Anybody has any question over here?
Mom, will you please explain me a small group instruction?
Yeah, sure. So if you have categorized your students already according to their multiple intelligence in the class, then what you are going to do is, based on any topic which you're teaching today, at the end of the class, that means at the once 25 minutes are over and 10 minutes are left for your independent practice, where kids are doing some work on their own without teachers' help, you may plan 4 different activities for 4 different groups, catering to either their existent intelligence or to develop new intelligence. For planning such kind of lesson plan, you should know beforehand your students. That is the key of making such lesson plan. So let's say small group is, can you give me a topic which you're teaching and I'll just try to give you a good idea about it.
EVS
Can you tell me-
about teaching body parts.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So if you have identified a group which is linguistically good, okay, which is linguistically good, you may give them a different activity. Ask those 4 or 5 to sit together at the during the end of the class, and ask them to write about people or animals, or difference between animals and people's body part. Or you can ask them what they observe, the body parts which they can see in fish, which they can see in animal, which they can see in human. Okay, so they are actually trying to write down the difference between this and that and this and that. They are developing a different kind of linguistic skill. Or this is post or to develop a skill. If the kids are already very smart in linguistic 1 and they learn through it, give them a reading material. One worksheet. Read this and find out the new words, new body parts, make new spelling with that. So this is one group which is you are taking care. Second group is bodily and kinesthetic 1. Give them a puzzle. We do, right? 11 to 12 piece puzzle, 21 piece puzzle board. Solve it in 2 minutes. Body parts, बॉय का कटआउट है और आपने उसके डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पीसेस कर दिए हैं, दे आर सॉल्विंग इट एंड देन लेबल इट if that is the part of your curriculum. Label it. So they are actually identifying all the body parts with the correct spelling, doing it. The third one is musical 1. Ask them that when they do okay, ask them to do one activity, or Simon says, or ask them to walk around in the class or go for a tour and write down that what all body parts they used when they were doing one activity. They'll say, I was using my ears, eyes, my nose. I was talking, so I was using my vocal cord and my throat and my lips and my tongue, hands, this and that and all. If it is external body part. If it is internal body part, send them for 2 rounds and then let them come back and write down how they are feeling, why their heart is pumping, why they are sweating. Done. So see, this is how you can divide your instructions into small group. It's not necessary that every child who is sitting in the class should learn with just same activity which you have planned, which you found that is a good one. And this is the major mistake all the teachers across the country are doing. We think एक activity डाल दी class में, class interesting हो जाएगी and we are sorted. If our heads will come to the class, they'll see, oh, we are doing activity, we are performing guns. They'll be happy. So are we there in the school to make our superiors or our heads happy? No. We have bigger responsibility, greater responsibility on shoulder to make our students like us who have multiple intelligences. Okay. Anybody else? Is your question has been answered properly? Or any?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, next. Yes, please.
Ma'am, if we are going for the online studies right now, online is going on, right? So how we can start our class, like if I'm going to teach Hindi, as I'm a teacher from 1st to 5th. So how can I start in Hindi? Like maybe we have the shapes activity for the kids, right? In mathematics, in English, we have the other words, new words, but what about Hindi?
Ma'am, one thing, हिंदी के अगर आप टीचर हैं तो मैं अगर कोई सा मात्रा सिखाने जा रही हूँ, all I'm gonna do is ask them, just take a 5-minute tour in the home and collect 5 things which has this matra in their name. Very easy. मैं छोटी ई की मात्रा सिखा रही हूँ. तो
जैसे हम फर्स्ट क्लास के बच्चों को जैसे हम सिखाते हैं,
of course they can do. Matras are there in Hindi in grade 1.
Yes.
Sangya is there in Hindi. Visheshan is there in Hindi. So if you want
not for the first or second class, because अभी तो वो ऐसा होता है कि अपन फर्स्ट जैसे अपन स्टार्ट करते हैं मात्रा के साथ में स्टार्ट करते हैं, तो वो मात्रा के साथ में स्टार्ट हो रहा है. So अब बच्चा अभी जैसे जो लॉकडाउन के ड्यूरिंग चल रहा है, तो उसमें बच्चा इतना अवेयर नहीं होता है कि मात्रा वगैरह जैसे अपन एक एक्टिविटी स्कूल में तो ले सकते हैं, बट ऑनलाइन वो इतने
See, you can ask them to make a collage जहाँ पे उन्होंने ओ की मात्रा के शब्द देखे हैं या वो पिक्चर्स हैं, ताकि आप जो क्रिएटिव किड्स हैं, जो हैंड्स ऑन करना चाहते हैं, हैंड्स ऑन मैं करूंगा तो मैं सीखूंगा. ठीक है. तो अगर आपने आम एक शब्द सिखाया है, आम की जगह अ पे ओ की मात्रा लगा दी, आ को रिप्लेस किया ओ से, तो ओम हो गया. Okay, so they can do something like this, that A turns into O and the word meaning changes. There is some voice coming from some man. Can you please elaborate yourselves? Thank you. Yeah, so you can do something like that. Other thing which you can do is collages, as I am telling. Collages are very interesting for kids. Collect the pictures from newspapers. Please excuse me. Thank you so much for waiting. So, collages are good thing. Newspaper से शब्दों को कट करना और उसका एक कोलाज बनाना. आप उनसे घर में उस शब्द से रिलेटेड, उस मात्रा से रिलेटेड चीजें ढूंढना, कोई पोएम बनाना, राइमिंग वर्ड्स फाइंड आउट करना, ये सारी चीजें आप उनसे प्रैक्टिकली करवा सकते हैं. आप चाहें तो ऐसी पोएम गा सकते हैं, ऐसी कविता गा सकते हैं जिसमें उस मात्रा का ज्यादा यूज हो रखा हो. यूजुअली मात्रा से रिलेटेड बहुत सारी कविताएं आती हैं.
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
आपने म्यूजिकल करा दिया. जब आपने बच्चों को हंट पे भेजा ढूंढने के लिए कुछ, तो आप उनकी नेचुरलिस्टिक जो स्मार्टनेस है आप उसको बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं. जब आप कोलाज बनवा रहे हैं तो आप उनका हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटी, किनेस्थेटिक एक्टिविटीज को इंक्लूड कर रहे हैं. जब आप इंट्रा पर्सनल करना चाहते हैं, तो जो मैंने आ और ओम वाला एग्जाम्पल दिया था, आम एंड ओम, so just by changing the matra in one word, any word, the new word can be formed, which it give one example of it. So they can come up with their thinkings, they can look around, and they'll be able to they will be able to make more words. They may come up with the funny one, like mama has the a की मात्रा, अगर मैंने इसमें दोनों जगह o की मात्रा लगाई तो मोमो बन जाएगा. It is like momos. You can have fun in the class. See, even right now when you asked, I came up with so many activities.
Yes,
So
yes.
all you have to do is run the mind, or run your horses, as we say, in different direction in the house. Think about, that's why knowing the intelligences is important. Until unless you know that और क्या क्या तरीके मुझे यूज करने हैं, आप अपना दिमाग नहीं दौड़ाएंगे.
मैम ये वाला एक्टिविटी तो मैंने करवाया था, जैसे मात्रा चेंज करने वाला, आ ओ वाली मात्रा है या फिर अपन अंक की मात्रा वाला भी चेंज करते हैं, तो वो भी मैंने करवाया था. किसी किसी में आ की मात्रा हट जाए, जैसे घट, आ की मात्रा लगते ही घटा, तो वो
Yes.
चेंजेस मैंने करवाए हुए हैं और ये एक्टिविटी करवाई हुई है. बट व्हाट आई एम रियली आस्किंग, जैसे आज आपने मुझे बताया ना कि आप एंटर होने से पहले नहीं बोलिए कि हाँ चलो आज हम ये करने वाले हैं, सो दैट इज रियली क्वाइट बोरिंग. तो उसके लिए और इंटरेस्टिंग हिंदी में क्या कर सकते हैं हम, मतलब क्या ऐसा करें कि उनको मात्राओं का भी हो जाए और उनको लगे भी हाँ ये नई चीज है, हम सीख भी रहे हैं.
Again, have so many objects ready with you today. Okay, so with that matra related, and then you are just showing those objects. Again, ओ की मात्रा का एग्जाम्पल लूंगी, तो मैंने ये चीज दिखाई, दे विल से अच्छा ये मोबाइल है, फिर मैंने ये चीज दिखाई, उन्होंने कहा ये बोतल है. अच्छा, फिर कुछ और चीज दिखाई, मोमबत्ती दिखाई, मोमबत्ती है. आपने ये सारे वर्ड्स दिखाए, फिर आपने बोला तो क्या आपको लग रहा है, आप बता सकते हैं, गेस कर सकते हैं कि आज हम किस शब्द की किस मात्रा को पढ़ने वाले हैं. इन सारे शब्दों में क्या सिमिलैरिटी थी और इन सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स में क्या सिमिलैरिटी थी. If anybody comes up with that, it's fine. Otherwise, you can say, see, mom, oh, bottle, oh, mobile, oh. So today we are learning about O ki matra. See, so you can come up with anything. Just think about, keep this in mind that मुझे ये चीजें करनी है. Automatically activities बनती जाएंगी. As and when you make any activity, make sure that you write it down somewhere.
Okay.
So that by the end of the year, you will be having multiple activities in your bag.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Kunal Rai, I don't know, it might be the child's class, child's name. May I have your question, please? Okay.
Ma'am, can I see a sample lesson plan so that I can relate with, because मैंने तो आज तक कभी कोई lesson plan बनाया नहीं है. So in future की कुछ reference yes की.
Certainly, I'll send you a few of the filled lesson plans
Okay.
right after this workshop, so that you'll understand that well.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody? So shall I move forward? Nobody has any question? Okay. Now this chart you can see, or you can see a circle. This is your bag of activity. It is not very clear right now. I'm going to send this picture to you all. Here, to cater to any of the skill, which kind of activity you can use. Let's say interpersonal. If you have to develop that, what you can use is interview skill, link, catalyze, mobilize, empathize, coordinate. So such kind of thing you can use to make your activity. What do you perceive with any of the procedure the child is writing or discussing? A person is telling something, the other is listening and then trying to find out what he or she understands and what is his opinion. Interpersonal skill. So like this, you can pick one or two other activities or words from this chart and utilize in your lesson planning. Maps are for visual and spatial. Represent something. Draw a sketch of the classroom. Make a diagram. Make a model. Depict. These all are visual and spatial ones. Preserve something, preserving even leaves also, and then later on making a collage with that, or having a model, something, or trying to teach them. चैप्टर प्लांट्स में हायर ग्रेड्स में आता है जहाँ पे लीव्स का जो अंदर का स्ट्रक्चर है उसके अकॉर्डिंग क्लासिफिकेशन होता है. If anybody has studied or is a science teacher, they know it well. So ask them to go to the garden and collect different kind of leaves and preserve them. Write down their name under it. You all might know, remember or recall that in our school days, we used to do this a lot, preserving leaves in our books. So this can be a task, and naturalists ones are taken care of here. And you are developing this skill in the ones who are not naturalists. You are giving them opportunity to explore the nature. The ones who do not like to go much out. The ones who are sitting right in front of their gadgets and mobiles and laptops and watching things whole day. Give them the task. They'll go out in the nature. You are actually developing this skill. Okay, so this chart also I'm going to share after this so that it will help you in planning the next classes. So how will you find out who is who? This is a chart, and what they think, what they love to do, and what they need. If a person is spatially intelligent, what are their thinking skill? They are always into they actually like to see the images and pictures and learn from that. They like to design, they draw, they visualize, they doodle a lot. And what they need is, they need art-based activities, they need Legos in the class, they need blocks in the class, they need many videos and movies and slides and imagination games and puzzles and books and trips to the museums and all. So again, when we were talking about those 4 group kind of thing, this chart can help you. If today's group is about logical and mathematical, you are going to give them some material to explore and think about. You will give manipulatives to them. They always have to have such kind of thing. Manipulatives we are using in mathematics class, right? Do you all know about the manipulatives? The tens and ones ka jo blocks aata hai and things like that. So use resources which they need or which you may need to have multiple intelligence inculcated in your lesson plan. Again, this sheet also I'm going to share. I'm going to share this whole presentation with you all. So how are we going to practice multiple intelligence in our lesson plan? First thing, anybody has any doubt with any of the intelligence so that we can clarify that? And then let's move forward. Shall I proceed further? Anyways, we have taken a lot of time. Yes. So this is the first thing which you can do in your class to do the survey. To begin with, lesson planning, using multiple intelligence, use a survey like this. You can create your own. I'm going to share a few ones. You can mix, match, make new one, create your own according to the place where you live, the category of or the age group of your kids you are handling. You can create your own. Every child should be given one sheet. Either they are filling it or you are filling it by asking them questions like this. So how do you like to work? Do you like to work alone or with friends or one particular friend or in a group? Which item do you like the most to use? So art supplies, computer, books, and puzzles. Now, the person who likes to use books more is having linguistic intelligence, is word smart person. The person who chooses puzzle is having reasoning and logical skills or that smartness. The person who likes art and craft is having spatial visual. At the same time, he or she likes to do work with sorry, they like to do kinesthetical also. Is okay. Do you like to listen to the music?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
How often are we supposed to do this particular sheet?
In the beginning of your school session.
For each and every student?
Yeah, for each and every student of your class.
Okay.
For the first time, or maybe for the first 6-7 days, you can do your observation also, and you can make in the first 6-7 days or first week, or you can give this sheet to your kids. They can fill it. Yeah.
Suppose I'm teaching maths to them and we do it, then we can share this same sheet with other subject teachers.
Yes, of course. Even the class teacher can do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have your usually homeroom period or the class teachers period in the beginning or the end of the day when the schools are running properly. So the class teacher can do this survey. Even the monitors in higher grade can conduct this kind of survey. Again, if you already know a few of the students from your past class and they are getting promoted to, let's say you are right now currently teaching grade 6 and they are passing from 6th to 7th, while they are giving the 6th grade final exam, you can create one sheet and give each one of them one. That when you are going to grade 7, how would you like, or how do you describe yourself? And they can themselves fill this and give it to you back. Yeah.
How long will you take further? Like how
Just
much
5 more minutes. This is the second last slide. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you like to listen to the music or watch a video? Then they are musically good. And do you like to share your ideas? That means intrapersonal or interpersonal skills are judged. You can also create a good kind of survey like this. The questions which we used in the beginning, like I enjoy singing and I sing well, I love crossword puzzles and the other word game. तो आपको यहाँ पे automatically पता पड़ जाएगा कि this child is good at what. To keep a record with you, you can have a board like this, fun with friendship. Okay, every child can make their own cards and they can keep it here. Even they should know that I am good with this intelligence. They can describe themselves in the beginning of the year, write about yourself, and then you can keep those cards with you printed, always there in the class. As and when the child develops or thinks that the child is having new intelligence, it is very difficult for till grade 2 or 3. They may not be able to communicate well or give their opinion, but at least you can do that. And the second circle one is for each individual. If you're maintaining a personal record of all the kids, their files, each file should have first or second page of this. First is the survey list and second the result of it.
Ma'am,
So
are we supposed to share this with the school psychologist also, or?
it depends. If it is required, then you can. Otherwise, you can always judge and guess as teacher also. It is not the psychologist required over there. It is general, very general, and it may change. Today, a person is self-smart. Maybe after a month also, the child may become people smart.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't have to. Only thing is you have to just keep putting more dots here and there in this one, and your record is ready. In the initial days of the school, when the session starts or begins, we create a students board also, right? In the classrooms. Introduction of the student, where we write the birthdays, where we write the how they come to the school, own transport or public transport or any other way. So even there also you can place the other one, the circle one result, so that every teacher, once she comes to the class, they know this. Okay, this child is like this and likes to do this more. So this is how you are going to utilize and incorporate multiple intelligence in your lesson planning. I'm going to share the lesson plan also with you. This PPT also I'm going to share with you so that you can utilize it in planning your lesson plans. I'm going to share a filled multiple intelligence based lesson plan also with you all. So thank you very much. This is it from my side. You can ask your queries, and thank you so much for having me here. I had really had good time. I'll just stop the share.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Most welcome. I just want to know how, like if you have any queries or if you want to give any feedback that this is not learned properly or I would like to know it more, you can just ask me.
Ma'am, suppose in a class there are students you have categorized and divided them in 4 groups, right?
Yes.
One is kinesthetic, one is visual, suppose. So can we like give them a different activities as per their intelligence?
Yes, of course we can give at the same time in the class.
At the same time, a group who's kinesthetic will learn it in this way, and a group which is visual will learn it in this way.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course they can do. Always. And it is every teacher's individual quality, how they take care of it. So even you can already tell them in advance that tomorrow you 4 are going to sit in one group. Okay. And as and when your classwork gets over, your guided practice gets over, you tell them to, okay, now sit in the groups. They go and sit in the groups, and then you distribute their activities to them. They keep doing it. You just take a round and keep guiding them, and they're done. And believe me, the other day, the other kids from the other group will say, we want to do that activity today, the other one. Yes. And then you'll see definitely. So first time आप उनके intelligence के according उन्हें सिखा रहे हैं so that they learn the concept better. Next day, if you're giving the same activity to the other group also, you are developing the new intelligence in them. So both the objectives for using multiple intelligence are taken care of here.
Yeah. Is there anything left, or can I leave?
Yes.
I've got another class.
Yes, this is over. The session is over.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
I'm going to share this PPT with you all. I would like you to send us the reviews and feedbacks about this lesson planning workshop. If you have any queries, you can take my number, and then anytime for any help, you can text me. Okay.
Thank you.
Lovely
ma'am.
to have you here. All. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day and a great weekend.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Rita ma'am, you have anything to say? Thank you, Sudipta ma'am. Thank you, Snehal ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm leaving this meeting now. Have a lovely, great day. Please write it to us. How did you feel about this session?
Sure, ma'am.